Morning, guys. Hope you had an awesome weekend. Let's just quickly bring up the view there. So what do we say with BTC? So last week we ended up, I explained to you guys that Bitcoin on the 15-minute was kind of range bound. And the argument was that, I want to see price reclaim 58K. And if it does, then it's going to work. Now, the reality is that sometimes you know what's going to happen, but it still doesn't mean that you get to be in the move, frustratingly so, as we're always trying to be as cheap as possible to get the stops as tight as possible for leverage. But in any case, long story short, as we were going through, I explained to you guys that the Dixie is also looking really bearish. And with the Dixie being bearish, I expect we're going to have a nice crypto weekend pump, which we did. We had a nice weekend pump. And where we are at the moment is price now after the pump is now back at the previous area where resistance was. Now we're trying to turn this into support. Hence the fact that we need to start trading, and we need to start trading long for the continuation. So here we are at the chart. So let's quickly have a look at BTC for the continuation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale this back up to the 4-hour real quick. And what I will do is I'm going to remove these lines so that you guys can follow with me as we mark out our next area of trading. Okay, now 4-hour time frame. Why am I on the line tool and not on the candle tool? Well, it's very simple. If you do this, you can filter out the noise, and a lot of times it's the wicks, especially because we went through an area that was extremely choppy. It's the wicks that can kind of trick you into looking for something that's probably not there. So I like to look at the closing prices, and it's also much easier just to identify the correct support and resistance levels doing it this way. Okay, now if we zoom out and we look at pricing from where BTC went to 70 all the way down, it's very simple to start highlighting areas where there's a lot of confluence around certain price points. So I'm going to bring this down. So remember, what is candles in the end of the day? It is nothing other than a visual diary, almost, for lack of a better word, of what was in everybody's minds. There, 61 looked like a great deal. Okay, there 61 ended up being lost, and when we got back to 61, the market was unsure, because if this was a great deal, now that we're back there, maybe it's not a great deal. And that's a good support area that was lost and turned into resistance. This also means that when you go through areas like this where it blows through a specific resistance range, you need to have price come back and test it, and the hope is, in that sense, that it holds it. If it loses it, it's going to blow right through, and it's going to turn this back into resistance. Okay, so now that we know how support resistance gets created and lost for the majority of price action, we can also then say, well, if this is where we're at, there's still room for a higher high. Hence the fact that on the 4-hour, I'm bullish. I also, on the 4-hour, would love to see that these highs around these areas here get taken out. So if I put the candles in there, that supply zones need to get taken out. And I think the first one has now been taken out. There's a higher high, but there's no higher high on the second one. So we still need to look for more upside. Okay, now where would support be? Because this is then going to be our resistance level to where we want to trade. So TP1, whatever you need to do, you need to consider, you always need to be part of the resistance, meaning stop dreaming of 80K. First, take your profit there, and then if the market proves you wrong, you will also have another opportunity to buy that support. Critical thing. Now, where would support be? Now, if I look at the same price action, switch to a line tool, try and identify another area where there would be a lot of confluence for support. We can also see that if we move back down, there around is good areas of where support would be. So typically we can see that price is bouncing on a fairly good support level. So where we're at now, we can use the simplest argument that I use for trading: be bearish at the top, be bullish at the bottom, and just don't overthink things. So it's a good time to be bullish because we're very close to support. So we have a very tight invalidation level. Now, what would I use to invalidate? Well, if I zoom into this price action, the argument is whatever strategy I'm going to be using, if we start falling below the support level and rejecting around that area, that's potentially where the market's going to now start looking for lower lows. So there's always the risk. So that's why if this happens, say this happens over the night, tomorrow we'll be then looking at that as a scenario for a trade to the downside. Okay, now zooming in on the 15-minute time frame, to narrow down our entries. Simple as that. Hitting the 15-minute time frame, we can zoom in and I can switch on the candles, and we can then look for an excuse to go long around that area. Now, the easiest and simplest way for you guys to to use that is to just use the buddy indicator. The buddy indicator makes life very simple. I'm going to zoom in into the last little area of price action. So there the buddy indicator said go short within this sell zone. And remember, the buddy indicator prints these blocks and they get locked in after the candle is there. It's simple as that. Then it doesn't change ever again. So you always function on the lower end. So the buddy indicator went short there and you smashed your TP1. And then it explained to you guys you want to go long, and then the long expired because price didn't retrace into that long within these ranges of the candles, okay? Then what did the buddy indicator said? It said, well, consider that there's strong bearish divergence, and you need to go look for a short. Now, short is normally when we try and see whether then a critical support area gets lost, and then you start hitting your shorts. I've got various strategies built in for you guys in the Discord where you could use that. Okay. Then in addition to this, what else happened? The buddy tried to go long there, and that long failed. So printed it long and it failed. Okay. Then the buddy said it's also worthwhile to go short within this sell zone, trading with the momentum, and it has hit TP1 and hit TP2. Okay. So the buddy indicator does make life a little easier for you guys. And that's the key to trading in the end of the day. You're trying to look for a simple setup, not to overthink things, and then, just trade and let the probabilities end up being in your favor. Okay. So at the moment where we're at, the buddy is throwing that there's a lot of scalp long momentum. Okay. A scalp short momentum. But we can clearly see that the market's not quite ready there. So there's that hidden bearish divergence that we need to consider hunting. So what I will be doing with everybody in the Discord is kind of looking at this wave to try and see where the divergence will be so that we can try and move it. So it's already alerting you that there's going to be hidden bearish divergence and we need to hunt for that short. Now, if you want the indicator, it's as simple as simply just supporting this YouTube channel and open your Primex BT account. You will have an additional 20% deposit bonus. And then after you've opened your account with my partner link, you just need to head over to the Discord. Links to everything is in the video description as well, so it's easy to guide. And then go to the navigation channel that's at the top of the Discord and click on the free trial. And if you deposit your trading capital in my Prime link, you can just click on the claim access. And if you click on that little claim button, it will open a private channel between you and me. As simple as that. And I don't know why this interaction's failed, but I will go and fix it just now. It will open a private channel between the two of us, and you can then send me your user ID, and then I will grant you access to everything. It's as simple as that. Right. Okay, guys. So if this is the case for BTC, we're trying to look for an excuse to go up. And then the indicator is saying that it wants to go low. What does this mean? It means that these bottoms will potentially get tested again. So there's a scenario that what we will have is, and I'm just going to make this block blue real quick. Okay. There's a scenario that, there we go, right one there. There's a scenario that we could potentially move up and then have an early week, a Monday shakeout before we go up. Now, where that target's going to be is still inconclusive. I will still, with everybody in the Discord, try and hunt for that. Okay, so that's everything that you need to know to kind of get you in trading in the right direction. Now, remember, guys, you want to trade in harmony with the trend. And if we zoom out, the trend is clearly to the upside. Okay, you do have these big moves. And remember, if it's fast, it won't last. Price will always go and retest it. And that's all we're trying to do. So we're trying to look for that harmony so that we can push price up higher. Now, if price goes up higher, this then, and I'm just going to switch off the buddy indicator just to make the screen a little cleaner. This then would mean that we could potentially hit the 61K resistance. And at that stage, have some sort of a bearish divergence, a stronger excuse to hedge short for in case we still need to have a little bit of more sideways Bitcoin chop because it's not guaranteed just yet. Remember, when we look at BTC from a statistical point of view, let's maybe open this chart. I'm going to go CME gap. Okay, and I'm just going to hide that. If we look at this from a statistical point of view, we still have that seasonality thing where for September and October, BTC finds a low. So we're in September. It's trying to find that low. So we should expect that price can actually easily go and revisit BTC lows at 51, 47, thereabout, and then only bounce. So I want to always, when I trade, I want to cheat. I want to say that I don't know whether one thing is going to happen and trade the chart and let the market decide what I want to do next. Okay, heading over to comments or questions. If there's anything, guys, drop it in the comment section right now. Uncle Mornay, we like it when first then watch. And then Renee is here as well. Hello, Renee. And I think I didn't do your comment justice reading it out. And then S, live from Singapore. So it's quite late. Your day is almost over. Mine's only starting. So if there's any questions or anything, drop them in the video, and tomorrow I will then answer them or look at them for you guys. Make sure to stay tuned for the next stream coming this afternoon, where I'm going to be looking at the spot prices of coins and look for continuation entries for those as well. So that's everything from me, guys. You have a lovely day, and as always, keep hustling, my friends.
I'll keep hustling.
Subscribe now.